All right, so hopefully, Coffee Cat, you can get your printer diagnosed. We're having Seinfeld references. We're having a good time. Mr. Plunderloot is here. Pouty Lips is remembering Seinfeld with me, and all is going well here. So it is time to begin with some rolls to make our character with the expanded roller here. Now I have the queue open to see who wants what. Quingar wants class, background for Raz, alignment for Hark. So those are the ones that have dibs on spending points. We need a sex or a multi-class roll. Oh, that's right. Believe it or not, George isn't at home. Please leave a message at the beep. I must be out or I would pick up the phone. Where could I be? Believe it or not, I'm not home. That sounds a lot very close. All right, so Pouty Lips, will you please have Mathrox bot roll a D100? Exclamation point roll space 1D100. We roll an 80, so we have a male character. Hey, Chris, welcome back. I don't have anyone that has locked in a request. I don't have anyone that's locked in a request for the race. So Coffee Cat, if it'll make you feel better because your printer's a little gummed up, can you give me a 1D93 roll to find out which race we're rocking? We rolled a 60. Oh, Grimvex wants in on this. Chris, Quingar has class, but if you want subclass, you can claim it with that. And Grimvex wants to help build a character, so I'll give you next one here, or I can give you sub race if it's applicable. 60 is a halfling. All right, and so we have a halfling. There are 5 types of halflings with the expanded content, and this is where Grimvex, can you please type exclamation point roll space 1D5. And it stopped on a 4. 1, 2. So we're not in Eberron. The dragon marks in Eberron count as sub races for halflings. So we have a Lightfoot Halfling. Although I'm gonna have to find out why these extra ones are showing up under halfling. Because some of these are human, unless I put the wrong name down. These are a couple things, and obviously they don't have to be done in immediacy because I know there's a program on Sunday, Trust a Flump. But there's a couple things here that look like there's, I don't know, redundancies and stuff that are showing up. And I don't know what I did wrong here. How's there even a space also for this half-orc? That's weird. Anyway. Alright, so we have a male Lightfoot Halfling. Now it's time for alignment. Hark, will you roll for alignment? Oh, thank you, Trustaflump. I told you I didn't want to set it on fire, and you handed me a chisel, a hammer, and a chunk of ice, and you said, here, you literally can't set this on fire, and I did. All right, 72. We are a lawful evil. We are a lawful evil. I'm going to start writing this down now. Lawful evil. Male. Lightfoot Halfling. We are small. S-M-O-L. All right. Next up, what level are we going to be at? Drizkill, can you please type !roll space 1D100? '88. We are rolling a level 18 character. Ooh, so close to that next ASI. All right, a level 18 character. Now, are we going to take ability score improvements or feats? And to help us out with that, can I have... actually, Trust-a-Flump, if you have a second, can you give me a D100 roll? !roll space 1D100? '72? Oh, almost. That's fine. We're taking stat bumps. So close. All right, it is now time for the background. There are 78 backgrounds. Unless I mess something up. Raz would like to roll for the background here. So, Raz, will you please give me a D78 roll? And have MathRockSpot generate something fun. No, it was, we'll go back to it in a second here, Hark. Raz, are you here? Can you hear me, Raz? I want to honor your channel points. All right, well, we're going to make a second character, so if Raz doesn't want to use those points as a part of this character, then I guess Raz will get first dibs on a background for the second character. So, instead, can I have Grimvex? Can I get a !roll space 1D78 from you? '46 is an Innistrad Investigator. Ooh, an Innistrad Investigator. Okay. Next up is class and subclass. And so I need Quingar to give me a D13 roll. And then from there, Chris Eyre is going to roll for the subclass. Quingar rolled an 8, a Paladin. And now... I need Chris to type !1D7, or I'm sorry, !roll space 1D7. That's right, we're rolling a Paladin. Big butter sword. And Chris is giving us an Oath of the Ancients. Okay. Paladins do have a class feature here. Which, by the way, Trust a Flump, I looked, and I don't think anything Artificer had qualified as a class feature. I mean, in so much that, you know, we don't randomly roll for metamagic or invocations. But if I'm incorrect, please let me know. Paladins get a fighting style. And let's see, who is here? Mr. Plunderloot, if you're still here, can you type !roll space 1d4? We rolled a 2, so we have a dueling style Paladin. All right. And now we come to the race section here. And I am going to look for a Lightfoot Halfling. Hey, Blood Deuce. Good to see you. Battlesmiths need to decide if they're Steel Defenders bipedal or quadrupedal. Other than that, Artificers don't have a lot they need to choose. Also, hi, everyone. Blood Deuce. !roll space 1d100. Invoke Math Rock Spot, please. '54, we have an adult Lightfoot Halfling. And let's see, Daily, if you're here, can you give me a 1d82 roll? '75 plus 20, so he is 95 years old.
Sound of feasting hall.
Aussie Samurai, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome aboard. Now that we have that, we need to figure out our height. Well, our weight's going to be easy because it's really just a height roll. Let's see, who else is here? Bewitchcraft, are you here, Bewitchcraft? Can I get a 2d4 roll from you? How many inches is Bewitchcraft going to give us? Four. We are 2 feet, 11 inches tall. That same 4 gets multiplied by 1 and added to the base weight, so we are 39 pounds. Senin, hello! And Mentally, also. So, Grimvex, if anyone wants coffee, talk to Grimvex. He'll be coming around. All right, now our character needs some personality. Mentally, can you please type !roll space 2d8? And Senin, I could use an ideal, a bond, and a flaw. Can you please type !roll space 3d6? Well, so the next time y'all beat up halflings or kobolds, remember, you're bullying toddlers. Now, yes, the toddlers want to kill you, but there you go, for scale. All right, Senin is giving us an ideal of 1, a bond of 5, and a flaw of 5. And Menely is giving us, a 7 and a 7. We'll need a different one here. Sheeps, can you give me 1d8 to fill in for the personality trait here? You got to leave your hoof print on this character. 3. There we go. All right, we have all the placeholders that we need right now to start exploring our character and to build him up. To make a character, mechanical functionality, it's 5th ed. It's going to be functional. Let's not worry about it. We're not in an environment where we have to min-max. Let's make an awesome character with some depth. And to do that, y'all know what I like to start with, the background. Now, you may ask, what in tarnation is an Innistrad Investigator? There is a series of content called Plane Shift, and it takes Magic the Gathering settings and monsters and such, and it presents it as a fun little campaign module. In Innistrad, there is a new background called the Investigator. Also in the back of this, there's a fun little supplement that if you want to run Curse of Strahd set in Innistrad, in the Magic the Gathering world, there's a little sort of like equivalency index. So you can flavor your Curse of Strahd to take place in Magic the Gathering. Hey, Technotron, welcome. There are alternate humans, which of course were options that showed up. It goes into the flavor of, what is an Innistrad barbarian like? They're not subclasses, but they give you some fluff to go with the crunch. And so we keep scrolling. Hey, there's the Inquisitor Background. Historically, Inquisitors were Cathar detectives who investigated crimes both mundane and supernatural. They were known for... Now, this doesn't have to take place in Innistrad. We're going to draw the essence of what the Investigator is. They were known for traveling to remote parishes plagued by unexplained murders, and for exposing werewolves living among normal humans, werewolves like Senin. During Avacyn's absence, when the Archangel was trapped within the demonic prison known as the Hell Vault, the Inquisitors led a series of brutal forays into Kessig and the Gavany Moorland. They executed suspected lycanthropes with little or no proof and punished accused heretics in unsanctioned trials. With Avacyn's madness, this savage form of Inquisition has become the norm, and Inquisitors who still pry into dark mysteries have become a minority. So, skill proficiencies, investigation, and religion. Tool proficiencies, thieves' tools, and one set of artisan tools of our choice. And so, that is actually something that we will randomly roll for. Let me get this down, though. Tools, we have thieves' tools, and for artisan tools, if we go to Chapter 5 Equipment, because clearly you all know that you're supposed to bring your player's handbook to these workshops. Come on now, bust it out. Get your books out, class. Come on. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Busted. Technotron, can you please type !roll space 1d17? All right, Mizra, you're excused. Mizra has a permission slip from the teacher. Yes, just without the extra roll. Exclamation point roll space 1d17. We rolled a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cartographer's tools. Cartographer's tools. Okay. We're going to get some equipment. We are going to get a holy symbol. We are going to get a set of traveler's clothes. And a belt pouch containing 15 gapuz. I have all the Fantasy Flight Star Wars manuals. Does that count? It counts for something. It's not quite a player's handbook, but I'll let you slide for, you know, your spirits there. And plus, if One Crit Wonder was here, he'd vouch for you, I'm sure. All right, what is our feature? We have legal authority. The blurb kind of implied we don't have legal authority. As an Inquisitor of the Church, you have the authority to arrest criminals. In the absence of other authorities, you are authorized to pass judgment and even carry out sentencing. If you abuse your power, however, your superiors in the church might strip it from you. All right, our suggested characteristics. Let's find out who our character is. Our character will have character, thanks in part to the tag team duo of Senin and O'Sheeps. Personality trait number 7 is... I'm going to have to scoot this over just a wee babby tad. Number 7, I want to see the wicked burn for the evil they've brought on us. Now, mind you, I mean, we're lawful evil, and that's fine. It just means that this person would be like the Darkest Dungeon soundboard for the narrator. Executed with impunity. And our second personality trait is number 3. I know the writings of Saint Raban, or insert important figure here. We'll just put Saint Raban for poops and ha-has. Backward and forward. We know our sacred texts. An anti-hero? Perhaps, yes. What is our ideal? Our ideal is honesty. The smallest deception paves the way to grievous sin. So if you're playing this character and there's a zombie outbreak and, you know, mom and a dad come out with their little, with their sweet bab, but the baby's been bitten, what are you gonna do? You know, you might not even want to do it, but you know you have to. And if no one else is gonna do it, if the parents aren't gonna do it, it's up to you. Purge the unclean, yes. If only I could say it in that, there's the quote from Final Fantasy XIV. I don't have the voice modulator for it, though. All right, what is our bond? Our bond is number 5. My dear sibling is now a werewolf. My dear sibling, is now a werewolf. Well, we have, we might have our work cut out for us, huh? Uh-oh. Pescattios with meatballs. And what is our flaw? Our flaw... I might have made a promise to a demon that I can't keep. I might have made a promise to a demon that I can't keep. Yeah. Uh-oh. Well, what do we owe the demon? Look at this. We have a character just from this background alone. All the supporting information, yes. Just from the background, can we already imagine this character? Can we imagine how he works, what he does? That may be the case, Drizzkill, but maybe what if part of the flaw is that I can't deliver on the promise? And by the way, would a halfling turn into a werewolf, or would they turn into like a were Shiba Inu, or like a were dachshund, a dachs wolf? They would turn into a little awoo. A were-ferret. Yeah, you know, werewolf is a prompt. This could be a were-whatever. Were-badger. Were-ferret. You know, and for sibling, it could be brother-sister. What if this is plural? My dear siblings. Are we the oldest and we have we have identical or fraternal twin siblings? Or triplets? You know, what happened? Was mom bit while our sibling or siblings were in the womb, and they were born as a woos? But we've had to hide it, and so we've turned our justice outward to like scare people away from coming by the house. All of these are fun little prompts, you know, that we keep the core of it, but what would be a compelling character? What would be a cool character? What is a character that has a story that really would motivate you? Oh, it would turn into an actual wolf instead of like a dire wolf. A were-beetle, hey. Entothropes. Check out D&D time, y'all. Yeah, with a whole slew of werebugs. I play a were-bee on D&D time. A lot of fun. His name is Vadius. You get like a Van Helsing vibe. Well, you know what? We are a Paladin of the Ancients. We are here to hunt down unnatural things. Or supernatural things at that. So here, we have an awesome character already. Let's continue to spice it up. Let's take a look now in the player's handbook, where we will find halflings. I love this picture. She is so... How can you look at this picture and not feel at least a little joy in your heart? Are you having a rough day? You know, are you tired from work, or, you know, you have so much homework and you just need like a moment of not stress? Turn to page 26 in your player's handbook and look at that picture. And then close your book and continue your day. Hey, Power Level, good to see you. Oh, you find it scary. All right, let's make a halfling now. See, because look, a halfling's a halfling. Yeah, it's great. They're small folk, very nice. There's a mouse. But what kind of a halfling? Who is our halfling? Not just what is our halfling. So our dex score is going to go up by 2. And our speed is 25 feet. We already know we're small. We also are lucky. Halflings always getting lucky. And we're also brave. We have advantage on saving throws versus Frightened. We also have Halfling Nimbleness. So we can move like between people's legs and scamper around. Languages, Common and Halfling. And now our subrace is a Lightfoot Halfling. So our charisma increases. And we are naturally stealthy. You can attempt to hide even when you are obscured only by a creature that is at least one size larger than you. Halfling Bestling says power level. Cool. You see why I don't start with this? Does transferring this information from the PHB stoke our imagination? By starting with the background, it frees up so many thoughts, so much cool stuff. Yes, we're a paladin. Yes, we're a halfling. But who are we? Like, what do we do? How do we make decisions? What's happened in our life? And now we know, and everything else can fall in place after that. That's why I kind of wish they would have suggested starting with the background in the Pahaba. But you know what? Hey, that makes us cool and unique. Next up, we are going to make a Paladin. Specifically, an 18th level Paladin. Here we go. We have a +6 to our proficiency bonus. We have spell slots of 4, 3, 3, 3, and 1. And yeah, we're gonna get we're a D10 hit die class. We're level 18, and so we have 18 D10 that we can spend on rests to increase our hit points without needing to expend spells, lay on hands, or potions. And the rest, well, everything's just going to fall in line here. So we have D10 per paladin level. We have, we're proficient with all armor and shields. We are proficient with simple and martial weapons. No tool proficiencies. Wisdom and charisma are our saving throw proficiencies. And for skills, we get to choose 2 from athletics, insight, intimidation, medicine, persuasion, and religion. Now, when we pick these, like, have them stand out in your character. A lot of us are tempted. If we're sitting down and we're talking with other people in the party, and someone says, hey, did anyone take perception? No? All right, I guess I'll be the one to take perception. I'm not saying that's a bad way of making a character, though if you're just taking things to fill in a spot, you know, I would urge you, stay true to your character. Grow your character from who your character is as an individual. And you know what? If no one in the party is good at perception, oh well. Work around it. Find other ways to go about things. You know, mix up your role-playing and adventuring style. And realize that your character is still true to who he or she is. So looking at the background here, yeah, and you know, with the caveat power level, sometimes it feels good if you have a friend that says, if you don't min-max, you're gonna die because I'm gonna run you through a meat grinding dungeon, and if you don't squeeze out every DPR, you're just gonna die. You know, like a kick in the door, kill all the monsters, like a fun, you know, we're in for dice rolling kind of a thing, but I much prefer the ROLE to the ROLL. So I want to see the wicked burn for the evil they've brought on us, and that needs a T. I know the writings of Saint Raban backwards and forwards. Now we do have knowledge religion. We believe in honesty as an ideal. My dear sibling is now a werewolf, and I might have made a promise to a demon I can't keep. If we're judging guilt, I think insight Insight is going to be a big one for this character. We are a judge, a jury, and an executioner, and it's our job to look for truth and to find out if people's truthin' or if people's fibbin'. And we get one more. Persuasion, religion, medicine, intimidation, insight, or athletics. If we're chasing after werewolves and stuff, if we have to climb houses and over walls, athletics could come in handy. Intimidation could come in handy as well, if we're here to try and cow the wicked. I could see medicine, because if we're considering our sibling a werewolf, what if the lycanthropy hasn't fully set in? And yes, I mean, we have that pragmatic view of, look, you're infected, you haven't turned yet, but you might as well just be a werewolf. What if we took medicine, because we actually we're trying to apply things that delay the incubation of the lycanthropy. So we consider our sibling a werewolf, but what if our sibling hasn't turned yet and we're doing everything we can? Yeah, we're tracking down heretics, but we might be actually also taking their medicines and reagents in chemistry sets in order to try and find a cure. Now, if you do that and you wanted to just artificially choose something like a not healer's kit, that's not artisan, an alchemist kit, that can work. We have cartography tools, which can still play a lot into this as well. But with cartography, if we want to keep track of where the rare herbs and spices are, that can work. Persuasion, we're a paladin, we're an investigator, even before that. Do we want to try and have that moral center? We're lawful evil. Now, evil does not mean you have to burn down orphanages and kick puppies in the street wherever you find them. That is evil. That is not what evil is. Does that make sense? So it could be something like pride, power level. The lawfulness is I have an orthodoxy. I have a methodology. I am methodical. I stick to a schedule. I stick to a set of personal rules. Oh, you might really hate puppy. Yeah, that's true. Evil is simply we're selfish. We put ourselves, our pride, our judgment, our skills above others. You may not like what this person does, but he'll tell you he's doing it for good. He's the one, everyone wants to be cured of disease. No one wants to be the doctor that opens someone up and possibly kills him. Or to be the doctor that loses a patient. But everyone wants to be cured. And so he might take this because, look, our character is guilty. Our character has a guilty conscience. We made a deal with a demon. I mean, so we're already an investigator. We made a promise to a demon. What, probably to stave off? Maybe to stave off our sibling turning? And now, every day we wake up, we're administering justice, but it's hollow because we are not just ourselves. This is a very good noir character, or kind of like a pulp detective character, if you think about it. We don't have stats on this character, and I love this character. This is a very compelling character already. Oh, nice! It's working for you, Coffee? That's awesome. And Grimvex, if you're able to help Coffee, oh, thank you. That is super nice of you. So in this regard, I kind of like medicine. Unless you think the intimidation. I mean, athletics is good. Medicine could be compelling, especially if there's a storyline to it. You know, because, well, you're a paladin. You can just lay on hands and remove diseases and poisons. Not this one. As much healing as we try and pour into our sibling, maybe it's because our faith was broken by making the deal with the demon. Ah, that's true. They might not have medical... All right, so that works, Machi. In that case, then, what would we take? Intimidation? Because we are kind of a gravelly voiced. We are... Oh, shoot. Why am I forgetting the angel's name from Supernatural? Has a gravelly voice, follows the boys around? I was going to say Caduceus. That's not correct. Shame on me for derping out on that. Castiel. We kind of have like an evil kind of Castiel. You know, with the kind of the rough voice going through and... All right, there we go. Now, for the equipment, you know, weapon and shield, well, we're dueling, so we're probably going to take a shield. For the weapon, we can take specific ones, but to keep things a little lean, and also just to open it up, because, hey, these characters end up on our Discord for you to download and play around with. Do you like it as an NPC or villain? Do you want to play this as a character and you just want to level it down? It'll be available for you. So if we just put strength weapon and dex weapon here, it'll be easy to calculate our pluses to hit and to go from there. And then you can supply whatever weapon you want and know what the 2-hit is for it. Hey, Redcap. If you want, so this will give you a dice roll of your choice on the next character we make. If there's a particular attribute that you would like to roll for. This is javelins, priest pack, or an explorers. I think we're purging the unclean here. We're taking a priest pack. And then we're going to wear some chainmail. And also, we get another holy symbol from a paladin. I wonder if it's the same holy symbol, or I wonder if maybe we have two? Must we carry around an unholy symbol that so that our patron of sorts can keep track of us? And also, it's a demon. Of course, a demon's going to want to mess around with someone to force a lawful character to carry around its symbol. So how about this? A holy symbol and an unholy symbol. Mizra says, I'm off, my friends, here to help put up my your mother. All right, Mizra, thank you for joining us. You had incredible luck. Cool stuff. If you end up wanting to trade that miniature, because you said that your miniatures are not a thing for you right now, let me know, like, if you want to trade it to someone or how you want to process that. But Mizra, it's always a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much, and have a good night. Dean called Cass Castifer because it was Lucifer and Castiel. We are going to get Divine Sense. We are going to get Lay on Hands. And as we are level 18, we have 90 hit points, or an equivalency for poisons and diseases, to remove. Yes, Redcap, the one I currently I'm on is not going to be sufficient for the things I want to do with this channel. And so I'm asking for community help in order to build a new PC part by part. And then what I'll do with this is I'll see if I can't take it to the store, and maybe I could broadcast from the store so you all can see what happens there. But yeah, this is a PC I got refurbished off of eBay when I started, well, now over 2 years ago. And, geez, when I was playing Dragon's Dogma on it, when I would load into a new screen, it would actually, like, give a temperature, like, the card would just go, vroom, and then beep, and my computer would die, and I just think it's time to get something that will be better for broadcasting and for doing multiple things on the screen here with you all. So we have Divine Sense, Lay on Hands. We have our fighting style that was already determined. We went with dueling. Spellcasting, we'll get to it. Forget about it, huh? Forget about it. We're going to get Divine Smite, although looking ahead, it's actually going to be Improved Divine Smite. Improved Divine Smite. It takes an extra 1d8. So this would end up being... Well, I guess we'll just leave that because smiting is very customizable for your spell slot and the target. Our Sacred Oath, we're going to worry about in a second. I'm still just building a Paladin. ASIs we get. And extra attack. We get an extra attack. We get Aura of Protection, which is now out to 30 feet because we're level 18. Aura of Protection. We also have an Aura of Courage, which is kind of fun because you can roleplay that as your little halfling projecting his fearlessness from himself. And that's also 30 feet around. Improved Divine Smite, and then we get Cleansing Touch. And that is it for Paladin, and now we're going to go into our Sacred Oaths. The Sacred Oath that this one swore is an Oath of the Ancients. There's the tenets. We don't often touch on that, as we're making a developed character towards the end, and we can retroactively apply tenets to who our character is, but our character is already manifested as an Oath of the Ancients. And so any tenets that would be held are you know, presumed to exist there. We are going to get some Oath of the Ancients spells, and so I might as well, real quick like, load this in on our magic page. There we go. We were at 4, 3, 3, 3, and 1. We are a Paladin. Spells prepared equals half level plus charisma. We cast off of charisma. I don't have our spellcasting stuff yet, but we do have our pool of Lay on Hands, and that is 90, and we've used none of it so far. All right, we're going to get Ensnaring Strike and Speak with Animals. We're going to get Misty Step and Moonbeam. You know, if we change Demon to Fae, we have a Fae Blade lock. If you think about this, if we owe a favor to a Fae that we're going to have trouble repaying, but we're getting benefits from this Fae, that puts us, you know, the line between Paladin and Warlock, especially a Blade Lock, is really close. You could tell all your friends, yeah, I'm playing a Warlock, and then you roll up in your full armor or whatever. And of course, the way you describe it absolutely would be like a pact. Mechanically, it's not a pact. Everything, though, you're getting everything else anyway from having this exposure to this entity. Plant growth. Protection from energy. Next up is Ice Storm and Stone Skin. Then we have Commune with Nature and, Tree Stride. Good luck hiding from an Inquisitor with that, right? Yeah, and so have fun reflavoring stuff like this. We have a blade, we have a blade packed archfey patron warlock here, everyone. You know, someone who is a normal everyday investigator. You know, in these kind of like deep haunted woods or whatever, something happened, or through contact of it as an investigator, you uncovered something supernatural. The Fae are absolutely, they are supernatural. This happens, that happens, and now we wind up in the owing a favor to a Fae that we probably can't repay. Sing-songy. I'm a poet and didn't even know it. And so this creates that that kind of angst, or that crux of you know, of inadequacy, or who am I, or what am I doing? Am I doing the right thing? Should I put my sibling down? But at the same time, the Fae is the only thing keeping my sibling from turning, even though I know my sibling's a werewolf. Compelling! And look, if you're a dungeon master and a player, your friend or family member hands you this sheet, hello! You have a world, you have a plot line, you have villains, you have rivals. Everything is handed to you on a papery platter. And you don't even have to go out of your way that hard to strain your brain. Let's keep moving. We are going to get Channel Divinity. We get Nature's Wrath. And we also get Turn the Faithless, where we do turn Fae or Fiends. Ah. Straddling the line. Maybe it's a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Maybe we're being used as a pawn between Fae and Fiends. What if there is a war of the patrons? We don't have to stack every what if onto this character, but do you see where your mind can go if you start asking these questions? Turn the Faithless. Or we've been hired by one Fae to take out the other. Because of course that's the ultimate game, and that's what the Fae like. Aura of Warding. This is amazing if you play in Ancients, especially at 18th level. It goes to 30 feet. You and friendly creatures within 30 feet of you have resistance to damage from spells. Oof! Undying Sentinel. When you're reduced to 0 hit points and not killed outright, you can choose to drop to 1. You get a focus sash. You suffer none of the drawbacks of old age, and you can't be aged magically. Pretty good. Makes you a good ghost hunter, even though you're not an undead specialist. So now that we have this, look, our character's made. We have the chassis, right? We have a polished exterior, looking good. We know where everything is, why everything is. And now let's go and put the engine. And we're going to do that by using the standard array and dropping in these scores where we think they should go. Remember, I want to see the wicked burn for the evil they've brought on us. I know the writings of Saint Raban backward and forward. I believe in honesty. My sibling's a werewolf, and I might have made a promise to a demon or fae or whatever that I can't keep. What if, instead of chainmail, we could go chainmail, if we so desired. What if, though, we gave the minimum 13 strength to wear chainmail? And are any of you saying nani to that? Remember, check it out. There is a minimum strength for some of this stuff. You need a 13 for chainmail. Now, if we wanted to upgrade, we would have to go up in that regard. What if we made a Dex Paladin? We're dueling anyway, so we can duel with a short sword or a rapier, something along those lines. And that would also make us pretty good at being a... that'd make us pretty good at being like a crossbowman, if we wanted. You know, if we did need something ranged. Or a sling and a shield. We're a halfling, right? We don't get automatic proficiency with slings, but there you go. We made a weirdo warlock with a 0 charisma last night. What if we make a not heavily armored paladin? And you know what? If we did want to sneak or do something like that, we could. Breastplate would be 14 plus dex mod, and we'd get a shield. So that's 16, that's 18. If we're starting out with what we start out with, technically we'd get a scale mail as the standard instead of chainmail. So we'd have a 6, we'd have an 18. Although it looks like we're gonna have an 18 anyway with chainmail. So why don't we drop this to scale mail? Not have to worry at all about a strength requirement. Strength can actually be a low score for us because we are certainly wise and we've studied. Can accurately use that silver ammo. There we go, Yanaril. By the way, thank you for joining us on Discord. I saw that earlier. I appreciate that. I hope you enjoy your stay. Let's go with... We are a force of righteousness and personality. We could go... 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, and 8 strength for a paladin. I did it. There we go, everyone. An 8 strength paladin who is going to be functional. And a paladin that can make dex saves. That goes to 16. This goes to 16. And from here, we get some stat bumps at 4, 8, 12, and 16. We're 1 level away from that final one. So that is going to be 8 points that we can put into things here. Fluff was baffled that you made a particularly smart paladin. Oh, what? Can you walk us through the? Like, how did that conversation go? You think a little bit more con? What is your argument for that, Senin? I'm not against it. I'm asking to get your point of view. And by the way, I know we're making an 18 character. This would probably just be breastplate. Or, honestly, to calculate armor class at an 18th level character with starting gear is probably not accurate. Still, you know, if we do what we do. But we do have naturally stealthy, which would mean that we could hide behind the big folk. Or a tree or a bush and pop out. The character is basically a master of knowledge, but only just learning to be more of a people person as a paladin. He has an acolyte background, he's half-elf, and has the skilled feat. Oh. Oh, you are just... Yeah, you know all the things, Coffee Cat. So, Senin, I don't mind the suggestion. If I can counter and say Constitution, you can always use it. But do we need it on this character when this character is going to be hiding, is going to be using Halfling Nimbleness in order to increase their armor class by using the people into... Remember, we're lawful evil. If we can run between the legs of someone and they take the hit for us, it's in the name of justice. And besides, we can always heal them later. But for now, they're shielding us. They're giving us cover. And so here we have more of a dodgy. Well, yes. So everyone, a wizard can always use more health, whether or not you're in the middle of combat or not. But if we can save ourselves the extra points into Constitution, because we're using the resources we have of Halfling Nimbleness, of Lucky, of Naturally Stealthy. If we take a look, I mean, so let's even entertain that we do take a breastplate. So it's 14. So we're still at 16 with a shield is 18, but there's no disadvantage to stealthing, and stealth is our thing. Yeah, you know what? It'd be nice if we had stealth as a proficiency. Hey, maybe at 19 we take skilled, like what Coffee Cat did. Or we take the feat that lets us, get some shield bonuses in. But even raw like this, if we realize we have lay on hands, if we realize that we have all the tools in our tool belt, while Constitution, it could be important, I don't know if it's vital for this kind of hit and run style Paladin. Because we have someone who's an investigator, but despite being a Paladin, isn't necessarily a frontline fighter. I mean, the Paladin is simply the name of the conduit through which abilities are flowing. If you think about it, Senin, we're making the investigator have crunch instead of just fluff. We're still an investigator, not necessarily a Paladin. If you're a ranged character, well, nothing says we can't use ranged. Now, does that mean we're smiting all the time? No. We wouldn't be with a ranged weapon. Do we have to be smiting all the time? No. And so, Senin, believe me, the resistance I'm giving you isn't against you or that you have a bad thought. These are simply, I think we're having a good time being able to point counterpoint, because you're making valid points to consider. And if I can stir the pot a little bit and challenge that convention that, the Paladins are frontline fighters who have to have high hit point pools to survive, then I'm doing my job as a workshop runner. All right, so we have our 8 points where, we could max out Dex. Hand crossbow? Well, we wouldn't get duelist with the hand crossbow because it does have to be melee. Unless we just kind of treat it like a dagger and you poke people with a still loaded bolt. That could be interesting. You talk to your DM about that. I do think we should raise wisdom up. I'd be pretty happy. What if we did this? All right, follow me. Dexterity at 18. Charisma, at 168 apparently. At 18, that's 4. Let's bring wisdom to 14. And anytime you're floating 1, now we're artificially not taking a feat to round. This is a good learning opportunity. If you're ever floating a 1, drop it in your strength score. Yes, this is still a -1 modifier to strength, but you get mechanical benefits for jumping and weight capacity by increasing your strength score without increasing your strength modifier. So if you ever have a spare 1, drop it into strength, and it's not wasted. And now we get 2 more. A part of me wants to also make Wisdom 16 because of how hard we're inciting, or even to make Intelligence. You know what? Because of we are so fierce in this. What if we go Intelligence 14 instead? Well, I don't know. We're really good at Investigation and Religion. I think this would carry through. Arcana and History is background stuff, but we have our specialty. Wisdom, so we're more magically resistant. And get this, remember, so we're dodgy to physical attacks, and our aura provides us resistance to magic damage. We can pass Dex saves to magic. We can pass Wisdom saves to magic. We can pass Charisma saves to magic. And Intelligence, we're not as bad at if we need to save versus something else. And so here, Senin would be... We may not have a ton of hit points, but do hit points matter if we're not taking hits? With that, we have a -1 strength, 4 dex, 0 con, 1 int, 3 wisdom, and 4 charisma. And then at 19, when we level up, hey, you want to cap off something? You want to cap charisma? You want to cap dex? Or honestly, you want to bring wisdom up because maybe this is a very magical, supernatural heavy area and you want to be full defensive? I mean, can you imagine if we ran a gnome that gets advantages on all mental saves and then resistance to magic damage, and then we had this stat layout? Oh! Our strength saving throw is -1. Athletics is -1. You know what? Scale mail, I'm just going to change this to breastplate. It's going to give us an AC of 18. Dexterity is 4 down the line. Constitution 0. Intelligence is 1, with the exception of Investigation, which is 7, and Religion, which is 7. Wisdom is going to be 9, and Insight is 9, with a 3 Animal Handling, Medicine, Perception, and Survival. No, the Investigator is a background. You could have a Wizard Investigator. You could have a Monk Investigator, like what you were talking about, Senin. It's just that we randomly rolled into these to fill the slots for the character. So we're using what we have in front of us for the purposes of our consideration. Because it's a good way to challenge our thinking and to get us thinking outside the box, which is why we made this functional Charisma 0 Paladin. Or, not Paladin, Warlock. Honestly, here, between you and me, we could even argue this person's not very charismatic, and we could dump his charisma down, so he loses a couple spells, whatever. He's going to use the couple he has very well. We could dump that and put it into Wisdom or Intelligence if we wanted to. But I'll leave that be your call. I want to play things where they lay and continue forward with the character here. Passive Perception's 10 plus our Perception modifier, which is 3, so we have a 13. That's our natural awareness. We are a quick Paladin with a +4 initiative. We get 0 dark vision as a halfling. Hit points. At level 1, you get your full hit die worth of hit points. For our remaining 17 of our 18 levels, you get half +1 of your hit die. Then, for all of your levels, all 18 of them, you get bonus hit points equal to your Constitution modifier, which, of course, Sen and I were having a good conversation about. This is easy math because this is 0. Then we come to 102 plus 10 is 112 hit points at level 18. No, Senin, you're fine. You're absolutely fine. If you need to see something, if we're referencing things, I keep the copies of them on screen so you can always ask to check out what's going on or where did we get a number or a name from. Why do I hate charisma? Because I have low charisma and I'm spiteful for it. It fuels me. Katniss says, I have to give up the computer to my coworker, so I'll stop in the next stream. All right, then we'll see you Tuesday for the roleplay game, and then Wednesday starts an Unearthed Arcana character creation workshop for the Subclasses 1 release. Oh, hey, McGruber, good to see you. Yeah, get some sleep. Thanks for hanging out with us, McGruber. All right, what is next? Oh, strength. If we attack with a strength weapon, whatever it is, we're doing so at a +5. If we're attacking with a dexterity-based weapon, or an optional, such as a finesse weapon, that is going to be at a +10. Damage and effects, yeah, you slot in whatever weapon you want and write it appropriately. We do not get cantrips. If we're going to attack with a spell, then that is a +10 as well. And to save, they need an 18. Now, a charisma in this case is a force of personality. We may not be interpersonally charismatic, but to enforce our magical, hey, stop on people, a high charisma is going to be very valid for this paladin. All right, now we have our spellcasting stuff, an 18 to save, a +10 to hit, no cantrips, and now we can calculate how many spells can we prepare from the paladin spell list. Half our level is 9 plus charisma is 13. And what that means is for any spell level you can cast, I mean, you can load up, if you want 7 spells that are level 5 options, load up on them. You have a modular spell list as a paladin. You wake up in the morning, you know, rub-a-dub-dub, thanks for the grub, and you get your spells. It doesn't have to be prayer. This could also be through a sense of meditation, self-conviction. Classically, paladins are agents of deities. And so you can scatter your 13 anywhere here that you desire, based on what you expect is going to happen, or if you just have sort of your standard, like, daily traveling suite of spells, then, you know, that's the spell sheet you use. You keep it handy. If you know you're going to get into combat because you're approaching the front lines and tomorrow's the day of battle, revamp your spell sheet. Have fun with it. But there's nothing for me to put here because he could be in all sorts of situations, and I'd leave it to you anyway. But we do have his oath spells, which do not count against the number of spells that can be prepared. Whew, I'm speaking very quickly. So, our character is pretty well finished. He needs a name. He's no longer just a set of stats. So if a name comes to mind, please share it in chat. Oh yeah, I'd love to take a look, Technotron, if you want to send it to me through Discord. Machi Shika says, saluting a meatball meteor before it destroys some poor man's cabbage cart. Can be anything for Paladorks. All right, if you all leave name suggestions in chat, I'm going to get up and take a quick break. And when we come back, we are going to make a multi-classed character using all of the options available to us here. And if any of you want to get your, if you want to roll for something specific on the second character, you can spend your channel points and with the message indicate what you would like to roll.